So welcome back to everyone. Okay. So yesterday we have seen what is inheritance, right? So single-level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and multiple inheritance. Okay. So I think you guys are available know about that, and today we are gonna see what is polymorphism. Okay. So what is polymorphism? Polymorphism is a part of your OOP. Okay, and tell your friends to join the class. Okay, so okay, so we'll start the lesson. And okay, okay, so polymorphism in OOP. So what is polymorphism? Okay, so polymorphism is taken from the Greek words. Okay, so poly is many and morphism is forms. Okay, so the class contains many forms. Okay, that's a meaning in polymorphism, right? So it means that the same function name, that is function name or a method name can be used for a different types. This makes programming more intuitive and easier. Okay, in Python we have different ways to define polymorphism. So let's move ahead and see how polymorphism will work, right? So polymorphism means same name and it contains different forms. Okay, so so that means polymorphism, we are using same method name in different classes. So yesterday we have seen inheritance, right? So we are calling the parent inheritance into child inheritance. So that's why we can use both methods while calling child. Okay, so if you go with polymorphism, if class A contains some function, so we are gonna use same function name into B. Okay, so you can give another logic or you can use another logic inside your method. Okay, let's see. So polymorphism has four types. One is duck typing, operator overloading, and method overloading, and method overriding. Okay, so there are four types we have. So first one is duck typing. So duck typing in computer programming is an application of duck test. What means, so generally it's general talk, right? So if it walks like a duck and if quacks like a duck, and if which is swim like a duck, then it must be a duck. Okay, so it this line tells about the behavior. If one bird, okay, we take chick, okay, that chick is walks like a duck and quacks like a duck and swim like a duck, and it must be a duck. Okay, that's a general line. Okay, so to determine if any object can be used for a particular purpose with normal typing, suitably is determined by an object. In duck typing, an object is suitably determined by the presence of certain methods and properties rather than the type of object itself. That is duck typing. Okay, so let's see some example. What is duck typing? Okay, so duck typing means, so the object it shall be different. Okay, but so we have same method and same name. Okay, so in different forms we can use it. Okay, so the type is called duck typing, right? So we'll see the example. Okay, here First I'm going to give x equal 5. Okay, so now the x type is 5, right? 5 means integer. So if I check type of x, with must return integer. Okay, so now I'm gonna give x equal to Naveen. Okay, then I'm gonna run this. Now I'm gonna check type of x. So now it returns string. Okay, so it's a
Sir, you
dynamic.
can't see the screen, sir.
Sorry, I'll share this. Okay, so first, so here I have declared x equal 5. Okay, so I'm gonna check type of x and it returns int, right? So here I'm gonna give x equal to Naveen, and now I'm gonna check what is the type of x and it returns string, right? And this is the dynamic programming. Okay, so here we have not declared the type of x. Okay, so we have not declared a type of x here. Okay, so it automatically uh, takes its type regarding to your value. Okay, so here you have given a value in integer, that's why x is a memory. Okay, so first x is a memory and it stores the 5, right? X is a variable, right? Okay, so the Python creates x as a memory and it stores 5. Okay, then after that we are gonna change the data type, then the memory is same, right? Both are x, and but the value is changing, right? This is polymorphism. Okay, and this is duck type, right? So because the memory values, sorry, memory variable are same and the value is different, right? Okay, so I'll do some classes here. Okay, so I'm gonna create um, class. Okay, so here I'm just doing the IDEs and Python concept. Okay, so if I want to run a code in my laptop, I need IDE, right? Integrated Development Environment. I need that, right? I need some software to run any code. If I want to run a query, I need SQL. If I want to run Python, I need any IDE like Python ideally or PyCharm or Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so anyone I need it, right? So here I'm going to create laptop as a class. Okay, then here I'm going to give def. Then here I won't use constructor and directly give a method. Okay, so here I'm going to give code. So I'm going to do some code in laptop. Okay, here I'm going to give self and I need IDE, right? This is a concept. Okay, so I need IDE. So I'm going to give IDE as a variable, and here, so I need to execute that, right? If I write a code, if I or the code already written, I need to execute it, right? So that's why I'm giving IDE dot execute. Okay, so now we have code, we have laptop, and we don't have a IDE, right? So ID is just a variable. So I need to specify what is that. Okay, so if I use PyCharm or I can use Jupyter, or I can use Spider. Okay, those are all Python IDEs, right? So I'm gonna run this, and here I just copy the entire class or cut the entire class paste into here. Okay, so I need IDE, or right. So I'm gonna create class. So that is PyCharm. I'm gonna give PyCharm. Okay, so it's just a concept. Okay, the PyCharm on laptop or not a real one. I have typed. Okay, so it's just a concept, right? So class PyCharm, and I'm gonna give colon. Then here, so I'm gonna make one method. So that is execute. Okay, so I need execute. So I'm gonna give execute, and here I just pass self, then colon. I'm gonna print compiling. Okay, so the and these classes are, if I run the class, it act as a, it act like your ID. Okay, so you first it print compiling, and it print the program has executed like that. Okay, and print executed. Okay, so then here I give time dot sleep for just delay the program. Here I'm gonna go 2 seconds, and I need to import time, because so compiling it takes 1 or 2 seconds, and after that it execute the program, right? Or it will run the program. Okay, so now we have two classes, right? So I'm going to run this. Okay, so now I'm going to create a object. Okay, so obj equal laptop, open and close brackets, and here I need to pass. Okay, so here we don't have a constructor. Okay, so I'm gonna call opg and dot tab, or simply I'm going to type code. Okay, then I'm going to run this, and it returns error, right? So because we need to give a parameter IDE. Okay, so you think the PyCharm we can pass directly, right? So we can't do that, because we have to create a object for PyCharm. Then you can pass here. Okay, so I'm gonna create an object like IDE equal to PyCharm. Okay, IDE equal to PyCharm, and I'm gonna run this. Now you can pass here. You can pass the object here. Okay, so now it's compiling and executed, right? So here I'm gonna add one more print statement, PyCharm IDE. Okay, so PyCharm IDE compiling and executed. Okay, so this is your duck class. Okay, so duck class means what? So which one is act like a duck, and which one is walk like a duck, and which one is swim like a duck, and it must be a duck, right? So because here we need execute function, that's all. Okay, we need execute method. Okay, so the class must be whatever. Okay, so the class means whatever. It's not affect here. Okay, so you can create one more class. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, and the only condition is the new class contains execute method, that's all. Okay, so here I'm going to give instead of PyCharm, I'm going to give Jupyter. Okay, so then I'm going to pass Jupyter here. and this is our main class, right? Okay, so this is your child and this is your parent, right? So here I'm gonna run this, and so I'm gonna give Jupyter instead of PyCharm. Okay, okay, Jupyter IDE and compiling execute, right? So this is your duck typing. Okay, so the relation between duck and here. Okay, so this is your child class, and it needs one IDE and execute method. That's all. Okay, so we have one IDE and execute method, right? Okay, if you want a more IDEs, you can create more classes. Okay, but the class should be in execute method. Okay, inside it, right? So there's a condition. Okay, so here we have IDE and execute, and other classes also has method like execute and execute. Okay, now you can use PyCharm, Jupyter, whatever you want, you can use here. Okay, so it's a duck typing, right? And it's one of your polymorphism. Okay, do you have any doubt on duck typing? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next, operator overloading. So it's a simple. So operator overloading means giving extended meaning beyond their predefined operational meaning. For example, so operator plus is because we have not created a constructor here, right? So if you want to create a constructor, you have to declare an attribute, right? Self dot. If you want to uh, pass id as a parameter, you have to give self dot ide equal to ide in your constructor. After that, you can pass self in your methods, and you can use whatever you have declared in your constructor into your methods. Okay, and here we have directly declared the method. Okay, so then ide is a external parameter. Okay, so if you want to call your or if you want to call the execute function, you need to create an object for outside class. Okay, and you can pass it here. Okay, so id is a external parameter. Okay, here I have called laptop.code here, right? So obj is equal to laptop and laptop.code, and here you have to pass your parameter. That's all. Okay, this is the difference between your constructor and your external variable. Okay, now it's clear, Bhagavi? Okay, and the next topic is operator overloading. Okay, so this is your second method in your polymorphism, right? So operator overloading means your the operator or plus minus uh, sorry, division and multiplication, those are operators, right? And the values are operands. Okay, so for example, operator plus is used to add two integer as well as join two strings. Okay, so we can use operator to concatenate two strings, right? And merge two list. You can also use plus operator to merge two lists, right? And it is achievable because plus operator is overloaded by int class. Okay, int is a class and float is a class, and so first I have told is a data type of Python. Okay, and if you go inside it, and int is a class. Okay, so the integer function has developed by using classes. Okay, because it's a object oriented programming, right? So it's overloaded by int class and string class. Str also class. You might have noticed that the same built-in operator or function shows different behavior for objects of different classes. Okay, this is called operator overloading. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so first I want to give 5 plus 6. So we already know that if I run this, I get 11. Okay, both are integers. Okay, so if I give it a string like uh, 5 plus 6, I'm gonna run this, it returns 56, and the single operator performs two different data types or classes, and here we are using integer and here we are using strings. Okay, this is called operator overloading. Okay, so I have told int is a class. Okay, so in here the background operation will like, okay, so both are int, okay, and dot tab, because int is a class, int is our data type. Okay, int dot, and I'm going to give underscore underscore add, you can find here, right? After
It's
that,
hard to explain.
okay, okay, 5 plus 6 is 11, right? And if I do the same operator in strings, it returns 56, because here it's a concatenation, right? And I have told int is a class, right? So int dot, I'm going to give tab, it returns what are the methods and attributes int class has, right? It returns all. So I'm going to give double underscore add, you can find here, and now I'm going to pass 5 comma 6. Okay, so these 5 plus 6, okay, so the background operation will look like this. Okay, so the both are int, and add function has called because of we are using plus. Okay, and the operators, sorry, operands are passed like this. Okay, so your simple arithmetic calculation backend will look like this. Okay, so now I'm gonna run this, it returns 11. Okay, and string class also has add value, sorry, add method, and here I'm gonna give like this. Okay, I'm gonna run this, it returns 56, right? So in every int, string, float classes, okay, so the each operations will operate like these lines, right? Okay, so we'll see. And now I'm going to create my own class. Okay, so then I'm going to create add function or method for that. Okay, let's see how to do that. I'm going to create class, and I'm going to create student, then I have given colon for that. Then here I'm gonna create a constructor def underscore underscore init, then underscore underscore self comma m1. Okay, that is my mock or student mock. So here I'm gonna give self dot m1 equal m1. Okay, that's all. And now I'm gonna create two students mock. Okay, like s1 equal to student. Here I'm gonna pass 5 or 50, and s2 equal to, I'm gonna pass student 60. Okay, so you can see here the both are similar, right? So because here a class is student and their class is string. Okay, and I have passed in, I have a pointer 50 is a student and 60 is a student. Okay, and here it automatically takes 5 as a string and 6 as a string. Okay, that's a different. Now I'm gonna plus both. I'm going to create S3 equal to S1 plus S2. I'm going to run this. It gives error because we don't have add method here, right? In the student class, we need to create that. So I'm going to create def underscore underscore add the same operator which I have used here, right? And here I'm gonna pass self. Then after, so we have two objects, right? So we have to add one more object or one more variable here. I'm gonna give other, okay, and colon. So now I have to add both, right? So if you wanna give two values, okay, so it needs to make an addition, right? So here I'm going to create S3 equal to self dot m1, which we have passed here. That is 50, and plus other dot m1. Other dot m1 means that one is here. That is 60. Then or you can just return this. That's all. Okay. So I'm gonna run this. Now I run S3 and then I'm going to print S3. Now you get 110. Now you have added both objects together and get the addition result. Okay. So we have not used any methods here, but it automatically calls the add method because we are using plus symbol. That's why it automatically calls add. Okay, so the self one is here. You can see self is s1 and other is s2. Then it calls student dot m1 means, so we have passed the m1 and the m1 will stored in here. Okay, that is 50, and other dot m1 means the second student s2. S2 dot m1, that is 60, that is stored in here, and here we have 50 and 60. Then it returns the addition of both values. Okay, this is operator overloading because we have an operator and we are giving more operands to it, and we get some value. Okay, so because we are overloading the object, right? Overloading the operator. Add is a method, that's the operator. Okay, so you can see here we have not called any methods in here. Okay, so we are just add both objects. Okay, so we are using plus, and it automatically goes into here, and it add both value and return what we want. Okay, this is your operator overloading. Okay, is it clear? Do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
And next, and next, and next one is method overriding. That means, so we have seen already what is inheritance, right? So take one parent table and child table, or a super class or subclass. Okay, so both table we have, right? So we have two methods which is in same name in both classes. Okay, so in parent class we are using same name but different logic. Okay, and child class we are using that same name with different logic. Okay, so both are different. Okay, so I'm gonna run B class because I have passed A into B. Okay, I'm gonna run B class. Okay, it returns only the B method value. Okay, B, because we are overwriting the A method. Okay, so because A has a same name and B also has a same name of its particular method, right? So if you're gonna call B, we can access A and B, right? So but in this case, we it returns only the B method. Okay, so let's see. So method overriding is an ability of an object oriented programming language that allows a subclass or child class to provide a specific implementation of a method that is already provided by one of its superclasses or parent classes. Okay, so when a method in a subclass has the same name and the same operator or same operator or signature whatever, and same return type. Okay, so as a method and its superclass, then the method in the subclass is said to override the method in the superclass. Okay, so the child class is to override the parent class. Okay, this is method overriding. Method means that's a functions we have used in classes, that's why it's called as a method. We are gonna override the method. Okay, let's see. And here I'm gonna create class A and colon. Here just I print dev. Okay, like name or mobile, and here I'm going to pass self colon, and then you I'm going to give just print. Instead of print you can use what logic you want, right? And here I'm going to type I have Nokia. Okay, this is my first class. Okay, so here I'm going to create my subclass class B. I'm going to pass A into B, then I'm going to give def the same method here, mobile and self colon, and here I'm going to print. Now I have iPhone. Okay, so we have two classes with a single level inheritance, and we have two methods, both names are equal. Okay, so now I'm gonna run this. Okay, so first I'm going to call a opg equal to a, right? So next I'm gonna call opj dot tab mobile. Want to run this? I have Nokia. Okay, that's my existing class. Okay, that's my past. Okay, and now, so that person had a mobile, had a Nokia. Now he have, or he has, sorry, he has um, object. So I'm gonna create object one equal b. Okay, then, sorry, yeah, then I'm gonna call object one. Okay, so due to the inheritance, we already know if I call or if I give dot tab, it returns both methods, right? So which is in B and which is in A, right? But it returns only one because we have same name in both classes. And after that, I'm gonna run this. It returns now I have iPhone. Okay, this is method overwriting. We are overwrite the same method, that is mobile, into new logic. Okay, that is method overriding. Okay, and this method overrided this one. Okay, is it clear what is method overriding?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and next one, so we're gonna see what is method overloading. Okay, so like other, for example, C++ and Java have method overloading. Okay, but Python does not support the method overloading by default. But there are different ways to achieve method overloading in Python. So the problem with overloading in Python is that we may overload the methods but can only use the latest defined method. Okay, so method overloading means, first I'll show what is method overloading. Okay, so we have one method. Okay, so with some parameter, method have some parameter, and I'm gonna overload with two more parameters b comma c. Okay, and this is called overloading because we are overload the parameters. Okay, we are gonna increase the parameters by using same method name. Okay, so first in you take this method is in class A, or this one is class B. Okay, so we have two methods, and we are overloading the method with extra two parameters. Okay, this is method overloading. So but method overloading is not in Python default. Okay, and we can achieve this by using star args. Okay, so if you are using star args, you can get, or you can pass whatever parameters you want, right? So I'm going to create class A, and here I'm going to give just def, then def add, and then here I'm going to give star args. Okay, so the authentic way is we have one method, one existing method, and we have to add another new method with the same names. And in first method we have some parameters, and second method we have some more parameters compared to existing one. Okay, but the both methods are same name. Okay, but we can't do this it in Python. Okay, so we can pass dynamic parameters by using star arcs, and we have a lot of methods. Okay, and here I'm using star arcs, and I'm going to return sum of args, right? So I'm going to create an object obj or bj equal to a, open and close bracket. Here I'm going to pass two values. It gives a, oh sorry, because we have created a method. Okay, so now I'm going to give bj dot tab, and you can pass your parameters here. Okay, I'm going to pass two parameter and it gives, what is that, star arcs returns sum of args, so for int and a. Okay, here you have to give self. Okay, so self is important. If you deal with your classes, you have to use self first, and after that you have to use args or whatever what parameter you want, because self is a pointer and it will point out your parameters, right? So now you get the answer. You want to add more, you can. 23, 34, 56, okay, 59. Okay, so now, and this is one of the way to achieve your method overloading. Okay, right? Okay, so Python does not support overloading by default, but you can achieve that by using these kind of methods. You can achieve. Okay, so method overloading means you can connect what parameters you want, you can pass, right? So by using star arcs, or you can use what other method, you can create three or more parameters, like then you can give default values for that parameters, and what parameter you want you can use. So you have four parameters, and you can use two or three or one, because we have uh, declared default values for each one, right? So if you don't give any parameters for, or if if you give two parameters value and you don't give two others, okay, so it automatically calculate that and returns the value, because we have declared default values. Okay, so I have declared a equal b, sorry, a equals 0 and b equals 0 and c equals 0 and d equals 0. Okay, so I'm going to sum them. If I give a equal to 5 and b equal to 6, and I not gave C and D. Okay, so both are 0 and 0, and it adds the four values. 5 plus 6, it returns 11, right? So it also a method overloading. Okay, so you can achieve your method overloading concept, but you can't use method overload, or sorry, method overloading concept is not in here in your Python. Okay, but you can achieve that logic, okay, in your Python. Okay, is it clear? Do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, and okay, these all are your polymorphism in OOP. Okay, so polymorphism means poly is many and morphism is forms. Okay, you can use many forms in single name. By using single name, you can use many forms. That means in first example we have used execute or IDE. Okay, so we take IDE. So IDE is a object, right? So we are using same IDE, and we are giving more values or more classes to IDE, right? That is polymorphism, right? So duct typing means, so the behavior, okay, so duct typing means the behavior is same, okay. So the behavior means, we back to laptop example, okay. So the behavior means that's the IDE, and that gonna compile and Python, sorry, and run the value, okay. So both are same, and but we are using different IDEs, right? So but the passing variable and the method is same, method is execute, and the passing variable is IDE, both are same, and but we are using different classes, right? PyCharm, Jupyter, okay. So you can add more, okay, that is duct typing. Then operator overloading means, we are gonna overload some parameters to existing object, sorry, existing operator, like add, multiple, subtract, okay. So those, that is called operator overloading. Then method overloading means, so Python doesn't support method overloading because, or we can achieve it, okay. So method overloading means, so we have method and the parameter is a, and next we are gonna create same name with two or more parameters, that is called method overloading. And method overriding, the method overriding means parent has some class, okay, and child has same class name and different logic, okay. So that logic override the parent class logic, right? So that is method overriding, okay. So we have four types, and we have seen what are those, okay. So now your polymorphism in OOP has finished, okay. So do your practice, and you have any doubts while coding your program, please ask me, okay. And I'll meet tomorrow. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.